guys, welcome back to my channel. We're going to start off with our e.l.f. Hydrating Primer. We're going to start with our eyes. That's not the norm for me, but we don't know what we're truly working with this Subculture palette. So we're going to start with our eyes. And I'm starting with my primer, brows, and then we'll jump into a little concealing just to clean up the brows and to cancel out any dark tones that we have on our lids to give us a really clean base for when we use our shadows. I'm using the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer. And just a small concealer brush. Here we go. I'm going to place a white base onto my lids just so that we can get the highest pigmentation possible from the palette. I'm placing it on my eyelid and underneath. We're going to go in with the first color with a fluffy brush, and you know the talk of the town, lightly tap your shadows. Do not dig in, do not swipe crazy because you will have fallout. You want to treat this like a baby. So we're going in with Edge, a very fluffy brush from Wet n Wild. And we're just going to work this into the crease, really buff it out. You want to work very lightly and build up the intensity. You don't want to go all the way intense at first because it will be harder for you to blend it out. Next is New Wave. It's the orangey shade in the palette, and we're using that with a more tapered brush. And we're going to keep that strictly in the crease, winging it out and bringing it close to the nose, right into that little concave there. And again, you're working very slowly and lightly. I'm just giving it one more blend with our yellow shade. So we're going in for the lid now with a flat shader brush from Sephora. We're going in with Roxy. Again, it's all about packing on the color, little by little. I notice with these shades, they are harder to blend the deeper you go at first. It's all about packing the shadow and doing minimal blending. In the center, I started with the color All Star, which is the light purple in the palette, but you'll see I actually go over it with the darkest shade just to intensify it. There you go, that's the darkest shade. And then with a fluffy brush with no product, we're just doing a little blending so it's seamless. Trying to make sure we don't lose too much of the orangey shade in our crease. On our brow bone, I'm going in with an angled brush, and I'm just using Cube. I find that this shade, the metallic shades in particular, actually apply better with finger. Now in the outer corner, we're using Axis and Untamed. Untamed is the greener shade, and that one we use first to apply the shadow, place it down, wing it out, and then pack on Axis on top. Axis and Untamed are probably the shadows I had the most issue with in blending, but like I said, you actually want to place a light layer first, blend it, and then pack on the shadow for the intensity and try not to blend as much. You'll actually see me go quite a few times and just keep packing on the colors. Sometimes I found I was losing the intensity, or it was actually changing colors on me. Blending the edges, making sure it's seamless. This is definitely a different look for me. I'm not one to use so many colors, so many bold colors. So this was fun to try out, especially with the new palette. I'm using a pointed e.l.f. brush just to really be precise with the shape of that point. And then again, I'm using a detailed brush with the orangey shade, and we're just packing it on because I was using the intensity. Pack and lightly, very lightly blend. I'm cleaning up the shadow there to make it nice and sharp, and I just used a paper towel that I had handy with Garnier's micellar water. You can use a Q-tip, a wipey, that's just what I had on hand. And again, I'm just intensifying the colors. I'll probably do this a million more times. So I want to go ahead and do the rest of my face. I need to put my face together to see where this look is going, if I love it, if I hate it. I'm just not used to doing shadow before face. So we're using a Tarte foundation, which I'm in love with, Rainforest of the Sea foundation. I'm using my Real Techniques beauty sponge. For concealer, I'm using MAC, the Pro Conceal. I have not used this in ages. And I'm just placing that anywhere that I would normally highlight. Then for contouring, I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal. It's a concealer just in a darker shade. And I'm going to use both the Real Techniques sponge and a buffing brush. We're going to work on the lower lid, and we're going to repeat the colors Roxy, All Star, and Axis. And I'm making sure with Access, as I wing it up to connect, that I'm diffusing that sharp line. I cleaned it up in the first place because I didn't want it too blown out. So now is when I will connect and softly blend and pack. In the inner corner, again, I use Cube and just a very small detailed brush. Again, it definitely applies better with a fingertip. In the waterline, just because I didn't have a black or dark eyeliner handy, I just placed Rowdy with a angle brush. Under my eyes, just to set the concealer and clean up and blend the lower lash shadows, I just use Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Highlight Palette, and I'm using the yellow shade. Now, I'm going to do the other eye again for you, but this one is definitely more in hyperspeed. It's kind of awesome to do, or best to do, one eye first when you're doing such a bold look like this, because you can almost give yourself a cheat code on your second eye, because you'll know exactly what to do and what to use to perfect the eye. The first eye is definitely trial and error, trying to figure out how things will work together. So you just want to do minimal blending and definitely pack on the color. I'd say this is probably the most time I've ever spent on a look. But it was definitely well worth it. This is me, exhausted from blending. I think it took me over an hour to do my eyes. It's crazy, I know. These lashes are my total new faves. They're from e.l.f. My camera died, so I kind of jumped to my lips already, but I just used a kind of burgundy-ish lip liner, and I'm using a Dose of Colors liquid lip. And in the very center on the upper and bottom lips, I'm using almost a champagne metallic shade. We're going to set it all with our Mario Badescu facial spray, and don't forget the highlights. I'm using the collaboration between Anastasia Beverly and Nicole. So this is the final look. I hope that you like it. It's definitely my favorite and the one that took the most time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and check out my next video on how I truly feel about the Subculture palette. See you guys then.